Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica Fortunes. I am a marketing associate at a fintech here in Lagos, Nigeria. I currently got my master's degree from Panatlantic University School of Media and Communication. Here on my YouTube channel, I share about my journey to becoming the very, very best marketing professional that you can ever know. So I share my journey, I share knowledge that I have, and also I come here to learn from other people as well. So if you're interested in marketing content, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button and become part of my family or part of the channel here on YouTube. To returning subscribers, welcome back. I hope that you've been enjoying the videos so far. Please make sure to drop a comment and let me know what you're thinking and if you're loving these videos. And yes, this is a new style of video. I figured that I should switch things up a bit. So today you're not seeing my face, but just my slides. But I promise you it's going to be as insightful, if not even more insightful than previous videos. So if you're excited about that, let's jump right into it. In today's video, I'm talking about marketing strategy. In the last video, I spoke about tools that I use, and the one before the last video, I spoke about what I do or what my job as a marketing associate actually entails. So I figured that I should share a little bit more about what the job entails. So one of the things that I spoke about when I spoke about what I do is marketing strategy, developing marketing strategies, coming up with plans and all of that. So in today's video, I am showing you how I think about the process of developing a marketing strategy or a product strategy or a strategy for brand and all of that. You can even use this for your personal branding, but this just gives you an idea of how I think about it and how you can think about the process of developing a strategy or marketing strategy for yourself. Okay, so let's go straight into it. The very first thing is, what is a marketing strategy? Now, there are lots of definitions about marketing strategies, and I'm not here to debate the definitions. I'm just here to share with you one definition that I absolutely love. And this is a definition that I learned in school and it's always in my brain, right? So this not to say this is the all and final. You can find other ones, but this one is a favorite for me. And he defines marketing as marketing is a business function of identifying and fulfilling customer needs and wants at a profit, right? Identifying and fulfilling customer needs at the key of what we do as marketing or as marketers or in marketing is to figure out what the customers want and then provide them with it and make profits, right? We're finding out what the customers want. How can my business help them to achieve this want? Also help them to think of me when they think about satisfying this want so that I can make money but also serve them. So I'm serving but making profits. It's important to note that profit because a lot of times as marketers, I think that we engage in activities forgetting that there needs to be profit, right? So remember that part. And then what's the strategy? Very simple definition that I have here. One that always sticks out is choosing way to play and win. Sometimes I say a choosing way to fight because when you're developing a strategy, is because you know that there are other options out there, but you're thinking of how can I win? How can I win? How can I make sure that when I enter the market, mine is what comes top of mind to my customers. It's a competition, it's a game. And so your strategy is how you plan to win that game. Your strategy is how you plan to come out on top. So when you put the two definitions together, you realize that marketing strategy is marketing activities or the marketing activities that you intend to use in the market to come top of mind and to win and to make profit. So your marketing strategy are the activities that you engage in so that your customers know you, so that they can patronize you, so that they can use you, so that when they need whatever thing it is that you offer, they think about you. Instead of thinking about competition, they're thinking about you, and then you're making profit, and then you're top of mind for them. So every activity that you engage in to make sure that you're winning in the market, every activity that you do, every action that you carry out to make sure that you're winning in the market is what we call marketing strategy, or can be categorized under your marketing strategy. And so when you're able to, what's the word? When you want to do this, when you want to develop your marketing strategy, there's certain things that you should think about. And that would lead us to the next page, which talks about factors to consider when developing your marketing strategy. The first one is your business goals and objectives, right? You need to think about, what is the goal? Where am I trying to get to? What do I want my customers to see me as? What is going to help me get there? What are my objectives? What is important for me right now? What is the grand scheme of things? So let's say I'm a new business and trying to become like the next Indomie or the next Peak Milk, or I'm trying to compete with international brands, right? What you need to just know what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go to. If you don't know where you're trying to go to, you're never going to be able to create a strategy, because a strategy is supposed to be activities that help you get to where you're going to. So if you don't know what it is, how then will you get there? It's going to be impossible. The first thing is your business goals and objective. Clearly defined, clearly written down, clearly known, have it at the back of your mind. Excuse me. Next thing you want to think about is your target market, right? Who do you want to serve? There are a lot of people in the market. There are a lot of customers. There are different type of customers, but you can't serve everybody. So you need to have at the back of your mind who your target audience is, who your market is, where they are, what location, what geography, how are they, demography. You need to think about all of that. You need to think about the cultural, you know, what do they think about? Are they from the east? Are they from the west? Are they south, from the south? You need to think about that when you develop your strategy, because it helps as well. Another thing is your product life cycle. Now, where are you in your journey? Are you a new business? Are you just entering the market? Are you at the growth stage? Are you at maturity level? Are you at the decline level? Where are you? Because depending on where you are, that determines the type of strategy that you can roll with. A strategy of an entrant or somebody who is just coming into the market is definitely going to be different from somebody who's at the decline stage, or somebody who's at maturity stage and who's just trying to maintain. Like MTN right now is the king of telcos. So the strategy that they would be developing or working on is to make sure that they keep innovating, is to make sure that they keep maintaining that standard and being at the top. Meanwhile, a new guy is going to be thinking about, oh, how do I enter the market? And so the strategy is going to be different. You're going to be thinking about, oh, should I cut my cost so that it's competitive? Wherever you are, whatever stage you are, determines like the kind of strategy you work with or what you develop, right? So you need to think about that. Next, you need to think about your competition. Still talking about telcos, we have MTN, we have Airtel, we have Glow. You need to think about it. The market I want to play in, the industry I want to play in, who are my competitors? I mean, before I'm even, if you're new, right? You're new in the market. How are customers solving the problem that I'm trying to solve? Because there are different type of competition. There could be your direct competitor. There could be there could be a, what's the word now? Now I've forgotten the word I'm trying to use, but it could be an alternative to what you're providing. And let me give you an example. You have like your Coke, right? Coke quenches thirst, right? For refreshment when you're hungry, or sorry, when you're thirsty, you could take Coke. But if you don't take Coke, right, you can take Sprite. Those are competitors. But aside from the carbonated drink, there are other things that you can drink. You can drink water. So water is a competitor, even though it is not like a soft drink. It's still your competitor, because when people don't take Coke, they're probably drinking water. So you see all of that. So there's competition that is direct, and there's competition that is not direct. So you need to think about it. You need to do your research and find out all the necessary competitor. Even when you say, oh, I'm coming with, blue strategy, blue ocean, where it's like nobody has done whatever I'm trying to do. There's always the part of somebody, there's a way people are currently solving that need for themselves. There's a way customers are solving that need for themselves. How are they solving it? Find out what it is, and that's where you're able to then decide what strategy you're going to use to convert them. Also, you want to think about macro environmental factors. This includes like Nigeria as a whole, things happening in the environment. This could be flawed, this could be government policies, this could be COVID, this could be whatever it is that's just happening, because different things just happen. I mean, just yesterday, the CBN came out with new policies that's going to affect fintech, that's going to affect banks, that's going to affect lenders, and all of that. So now you need to go back and factor that policy into your strategy. So you need to think about what is going to happen. Sometimes you even need to think ahead. Now you're looking at the way CBN is going, you can already start to envision that more policies will come. And so you need to set your business or think about your strategy from a way that if this thing should happen, it doesn't affect us so bad, or we're able to stand up quickly. Also, changing needs. Today, customers want this. I mean, during the time of COVID, everybody needed a face mask. There were different type of face masks, but today I rarely see them because needs have evolved. People don't want face masks again. Um, there was a time when people were not using what ACs, but now everybody's using AC because the heat is so hot. So needs are changing, and even your customers, they go on different journeys. They grow, and so everybody who was drinking Capri Sun has probably moved on to wine and stuff like that. So you need to keep evolving and changing, and have all this at the back of your mind when developing your marketing strategy. Okay, so now that said, there's a framework that I work with. This is something that I was taught in school when developing a marketing strategy. So these are the 5 things that I think about when developing marketing strategy, and I think that you should also think about them when developing marketing strategy. So these are like what I would like to call them the processes. The beginning, you start from your market analysis, competitor analysis, customer analysis, marketing mix, and then your financial analysis. This is like the circle. I like to call it the circle of marketing strategy. How you start from your market analysis. Like you literally, this is the step from one to one to one to one. You don't jump it, because if you jump one or if you miss out one, you're going to miss out something. And so now I'm going to take us through how you can think about this and how to implement it for your own strategy, right? Okay. So the first one we have there is marketing analysis, or sorry, market analysis. And this is the first step. Actually, before I go into that, I want us to realize the marketing strategy is the foundation of everything that you do. It's the plan, right? In fact, you know how you want to build a story building or a duplex, or you want to build like skyscrapers. One of the most important thing is your foundation, because if your foundation is not solid, then the house is going to collapse. In the same way, your marketing strategy is your foundation. It has to be well thought through, it has to be put together well, firmly, so that you can build on it and then have a beautiful building. And so, at the core of that foundation is your market analysis. And this is where you go to assess the state of the market. This is how you actually see, oh, what's in the market right now? What are people doing? Is this market, is there profit? Is it declining? Stagnant. Certain industries are becoming stagnant, right? So, you first need to understand the market. How are people doing things? What are the cultural implications? Where are people? How do they get this? You basically need to research and research and keep researching. And this is why I struggle when people just think that, oh, marketing only comes into play when you've already finished the product. But no, it should come into play from the very beginning when you decide that you want to do this. Even in the process of trying to figure out what type of business you want to work on, or what type of solution you're trying to create, you should be thinking about how you intend to market it as well, because it helps you to do certain things and to avoid certain things, right? So you keep researching. You research on the business, you research on the environment, the government policies. You basically research everything, you find out everything. Some people travel far and wide, and there's so many ways to do this. I think there are a couple of analysis technique. There's the PEST tool, which is you think about the political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. There's also SWOT analysis, right, where you think about your strength, your weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats. Then there's also the Porter's 5. yeah, Potter's five. Now I can't remember, but yeah, Potter's five. That basically, you analyze things, you analyze based on different factors, and then that helps you to decide what to do. One thing again that you must bear in mind, that information is power. So when you don't know, you make mistakes, but when you know, you're able to avoid certain things, and you're able to make better decisions. So don't look down on analysis. When I try to do analysis, sometimes I go on Twitter to ask questions. Sometimes I just do like search on Twitter, see what people are saying. Sometimes I basically ask people, oh, how do you think about this? What's your this? Blah, 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 and hear what people say. So you could do this in form of surveys. You could send out surveys. You could do it in form of, what's that word? Interviews. You could do it in form of group discussions, have a group of people, focus group, and you guys talk about it. Basically, just don't be afraid of researching. Research is very important. Research is very important when you're developing your market strategy. So analyze everything, analyze organizations, analyze your competition, and analyze, just keep analyzing, and make sure that you have well informed, sorry, make sure that you have good information. Okay, the next thing is competition analysis. I already mentioned this when I was talking about your, market analysis. While you do your market analysis, of course, you find out that, oh, there's an MTN, there's Airtel, there's Glow, there's Etisalat. Even when you do it very well, you also see those that were there before and have gone, right? You think about Vodafone, you think about what are some of this, there's some, Intel, there's some, telco companies that have entered Nigeria before and they've gone. And you start to analyze, why did they go? What happened to them? What market decisions did they make, or what decisions did they make that made them leave? Meanwhile, MTN keeps growing. You analyze, and you need to pay close attention to your competition. Now, here I put down that it is the process of comparing the strengths and weaknesses of your own business or product to those of other businesses to make your business and product more competitive. Like I said at the beginning, it's a game, right? It's a fight. You're fighting in the market for customers. So, to be able to do that, you need to know who you're fighting with. You need to know who you're playing the game with. You need to know their strength. You need to know their weaknesses. Again, it ties into information is power. When you know the weaknesses and strengths of your competition, you're able to come up with ideas that help you be more competitive. You're able to develop more competitive advantage. For instance, you see that, okay, Bank B is offering my customers 5% interest on their savings. And then I decide, you know what? I'm going to increase mine and offer them 10% instead. You know that because you've done your research. But if you don't know that, you would not be able to help them, right? Or you think about it, okay, my competition is serving only upper class people. I'm going to instead serve the lower class people, the masses. Or you decide, okay, my competition is only looking at women. Now I'm going to look at men. When you think about your competition, or when you know what your competition is doing, you're able to find loopholes both in their strategies and in yours, and then find ways to make it better so that you can do better, and so that you can attract the people that you want and win in the marketplace. Again, it's a game, not a diabolic game, but it's a game that needs to be played. And so you need to understand your competition. You need to know what your competition is doing. You can't, I know we like to say, oh, I don't care about competition. You have to care, because if you don't care and they do stuff that tackles you, you'll be out of the market. I mean, they don't necessarily need to use jazz. They just need to have one information. They just need to sometimes have your market, your secret ingredients, and then that's it. They turn everything upside down for you. So you need to pay attention to this. And like I mentioned, even in the beginning, not just your direct competition, but also indirect competitions, your alternatives, right? All of that, and how you can better beat them. Sometimes even your competition could be, oh, Coke has different variants now, and then you only have one variant. What other variants can you add to yours? That could be competition. So you build another different variant. Even when we have Coca-Cola and we have Biggie, the pricings are the different. Or when we had Pepsi and we had Big Pepsi, that was a competition. Pepsi suddenly became more in the market because Nigerians wanted more for less money. So you have to think about. And when Pepsi did that, we also realized that Coca-Cola immediately brought back a bigger bottle because it was killing them. Imagine if they say, "Oh, I don't care what Pepsi is doing. We're always going to be at the top. I don't want to know what my competitor is doing." It's a lie. You have to know. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go to the top of the market, say place and say, "Oh, I'm checking out what my competition is doing." But you need to bear in mind that your competition, you need to have a slide for your competition in your strategy and know those that are competing with you and build up competitive advantage. Competitive advantage could be it could be from product, it could be in form of innovation, it could be in form of information that you have, it could be in form of the uses, right? The use cases. So let's say your product, your competition's product, there's only one thing that they can do with theirs, meanwhile yours, you can do 10 things with it. That's a competitive advantage. So and Nigerians love things like that. So find it and move with it. Or even think about, this is me, think about Jik and Hypo. Jik used to be the guy for everything, washing off your white, all of that. But then Hypo came. Hypo was way cheaper. Hypo came in sachets and people started buying it. And now I can't remember the last time I saw Jik in the market. Everybody seems to be using Hypo. Hypo, go Hypo. And they were the small guys, but they came with a strategy. They cut the cost, and then they gave different use cases. You could use them to, for your toilet. You can use them to wash your clothes. You can use them for this, and they're cheaper. Of course, they won the market. So yeah, think about that. And they were doing advertising, and so brand differentiation is also a part of competition or competitive advantage. Hypo, then I remember that they were doing so many advertisements, so many activation. Meanwhile, Jik wasn't doing a lot, and so they stole the market. So sometimes it could be your competitive advantage could also be in form of your, what's the word, could be in form of your, could be in your brand differentiation, could be in your branding. It doesn't always have to be your product, but that would be another, like, I think we'll have another video on that. But moving on, next is your customer analysis. Now, this is the identification and understanding of your customer needs and motivations to segment and target appropriately. Also to brand, you know, also to target, also to position yourself, right? You want to know who your customers is. I believe I mentioned it before, but everybody is not your customer. Everybody cannot be your customer because how, right? Everybody cannot be your customer. And so what that means is you need to know your customers. You need to know where they are. You need to know how they are. You need to think about how they think, right? And there are different ways to think about this. You could think about it in form of their geography. Where do they stay? Some people stay on the island, some people stay on the mainland. If you're trying to target people on the mainland, you can't use the same strategy for people on the island. There are different strategies. You also need to think about the fact that where are they from, right? So I stay in Lagos, but I'm not a Lagosian. I'm not from the west, I'm from the east. And so it impacts, so culturally there are certain things I will not do. For instance, sometimes people say, "Oh, you should kneel down." Sometimes people say you should sometimes people say you should kneel down. Sometimes people say you should kneel down to greet. Meanwhile, where I come from, we don't necessarily kneel down. You need to think about that when you're selling me a product. You need to think about, oh, what form of education, what level of education do I have? Have I gone to school at all? Was I homeschooled? Did I go to university? Did I not? I will tell you that even the fact that I'm a master's graduate, it helps in the way that I think about things a lot differently from when I was just a BSc holder. So all of these things play a factor. So you need to know who your customers are. You need to understand them. You need to know where they are. You need to know how to get them. You need to know their psychology of things. And this helps you to brand, it helps you to segment, it helps you to put customers in different buckets, right? So when you now know your customers, when you now know that there's customers on the island, there are customers who are educated, there are those who are not, there are those who are working class, there are those who are not, you then decide that, okay, these are different people I could serve, but then I'm going to serve only students, right? And then you start to brand yourself as the brand for just students. And that way you're able to position yourself in the minds of students so that whenever they think about, oh, a brand that is student friendly, they think about you. And so you're able to target them more because the messaging you will use for just students is not what you use for a family man, right? And so you need to understand them. You need to understand your customers and identify them. So once you've done all of these analysis, which I like to put the market risk analysis, competition analysis, all of this I like to put under the same bucket of research. You move on to your marketing mix, and this is the part most people jump into, which is the product, pricing, promotion, and place. Now, this is a big guy, right? I feel like I'm going to have another video where I talk about these things in detail, like individually, because now this video is going long and I want it to end soon. So basically, your market mix, right? This is where you decide, okay, where's my product going to be? How is it going to be? Based on the information that you've gotten from all the analysis that you've made, you now start to decide on what to do. For instance, I work at a fintech, right? The best way to reach people is digitally. And why is that? Because you have to download the app, right? So digital ads are probably more of my thing when it comes to promotion or when it comes to place, because where is your product? Meanwhile, some people, it's better for them to do activation, physical activations, because their products are physical. You can give people a taste. You can, like Milo. I remember then Milo used to come to school and we would give us like cups of tea to drink because of their type of product, and they were also kid friendly. So they came to school a lot. And also your pricing, you determine, okay, based on the information that I have, my competition is doing 10 naira, I'm going to 5 naira, I'm going to 8 naira. You'll be surprised that the 2 naira or just 1 naira difference is why somebody will leave their own side and the competition and come to you. So basically, based on the information that you have, you then decide how your product is going to be, how it's going to look, what your branding is going to be, what your copy is going to be. Then you also decide on your price. You decide on how you're going to promote it. Is it going to be offline promotion? Is it going to be billboards? Is it going to be roadshow? Is it physical? Is it offline? Is it online? Is it traditional media? Is it new media? Or is it a combination of all of them? You decide that. And of course, placement. Where is your product going to be? For most digital products, they're online, they're on the internet, there's a website. For physical products, or is it going to be at Oshodi Market? Is it going to be at Ebano Supermarket or ShopRite? You decide what your placement and that. And that's what the marketing mix entails. And then the last one here is your financial analysis. This is a part that most of us as marketers struggle with. I know that I struggle with this a lot because when it comes to money, I'm like, oh, no, no, no. But you need to be aware because you're trying to make profit and you're also trying to you're trying to make profits and you're also trying to spend money, right? You're spending money, sorry, and you're making profit, remember. So the more you, as you think about what you're going to be spending, all you need to think about it is in terms of what is going to come back to me. So if I spend 15 naira, how much am I going to gain? What is my budget? How much do I have to spend, right? How can I break this down to spend lesser or to spend this and get more? You want to spend 10 naira and you want 1,000 people to come in. You also want to think about it and how much does it cost me to acquire one customer? And then how much do am I able to make from that customer? So if it costs me 5,000 naira to get one customer, can I get like 1 million down the road from that customer eventually? Then you think about it, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Financial analysis, like I put here, is assessing the financial aspect of marketing strategies, campaigns, and initiatives to evaluate the effectiveness, return on return on investment, and contribution to the overall business objective. So basically, you need to assess, you need to think about, oh, this strategy, how is it going to help me make more money? When Barbie did their campaign, they also made a lot of money. Of course, they spent a lot of money. You spend to make, but you need to make sure that you're not just spending, but you're also making. And so this is where you think about your budget. This is where you think about how much cost to get a customer. This is where you think about the return on investment. This is where you think about your KPIs. So for me to be able to make profits, I need to have hit 1 million downloads or this downloads in this period of time, all of that. So that's how you think about your financial analysis and everything. So these are the 5 circle of marketing strategies, or these are things that you need to think about when you're thinking about building or developing your marketing strategies. I hope that you found this to be insightful. I hope that you've learned a thing or two. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. And like I mentioned previously, I'm going to break this down going forward into smaller buckets so that I can then take us step by step into what this would look like if I were to develop my strategy for a particular business. You can actually tell me what business you want me to break this down into so that we can do it together online or here. So, yes, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it insightful. I hope you found it helpful. And if you have, make sure to subscribe, share with a friend. And until next time, I remain Jessica Fortunes. Bye.